Hello, and welcome to Run of Show. I'm Ben Hindman, and I am an event planner. I'm an event marketer. I'm the CEO of a tech business, and as such, I am thinking a lot about GDPR. I'm sure you are too. So today we're going to talk about what is GDPR and how does it affect us as marketers. So let's start at the top. What is GDPR? It is the General Data Protection Regulation. That's what it stands for. Some of the big concepts behind it are website privacy, securely storing data, and easily making data visible and erasing data if requested to. And just so you know, if you're watching this video and it's past May 25th, 2018, it's time to move fast. But look, today we're going to talk about how I'm thinking about it and what's different and what's the same. But before we do, I need to make sure that I'm covered. So, hey Mike, can we just run the T's and C's? Okay, we're good? Okay, great. Phew. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about GDPR. Now, a lot of it feels kind of the same as things have always been. Look, as event planners, we know who's engaged in our programs. So the people who are RSVPing, they're the people who show up. Right? And we know who isn't engaged and are kind of clogging our list and are calling us spam. We know that because every time we send an invitation, we see that loud and clear. We know who comes to the door. So a lot of what GDPR to me is kind of like, have they opted in? Do they want to be marketed to? And then again, event planners, we know that all too well. But also as event marketers and event planners, we ask for a lot of information from our attendees, and we know the concept of what a VIP is and how important their information is to keep private. Hell, we know things about where you're sleeping and whether you like chicken or fish more, right? And we know how to be discreet and how to keep that close to the vest. So in that way, GDPR is nothing new for us. We're going to do our best job always to keep your private information and only talk to you and invite you if you want to be invited. But in a lot of ways, GDPR, especially as we think about layering on technology, is a different landscape for us. So let's talk about some of the ways that GDPR is just different. It is a different world. The first one is partnerships and sponsorships. You know, the days of, hey, I'll share a list with you are over. You can't send lists to people unless people have clearly opted in and need to be really careful about what information you're transferring over to any of your existing partners. That doesn't just go for external partners though. Number two that I'm thinking about is internal sharing. Look, as event planners, how many times have we said, hey, send me that RSVP list, I'm gonna add them to the newsletter. No go anymore. And we should really be thinking about this because it's actually quite bad. If they get added to something that they don't want to be added to and they unsubscribe, they've just unsubscribed from your event list and your demand gen marketing list. And so you got to protect your groups here. I'd recommend having a separate unsubscribe from your event list so they can be very deliberate with that. And I'd recommend being very careful with how you're onboarding your RSVPs and attendees into your content lists after the event. My best recommendation here is just to be very clear with your attendees. Hey, I'm adding you to our email newsletter. Let me know if you don't want that. That can come, by the way, before or after the event. The third part that I'm thinking about is lead capture. This is when you're capturing leads at a booth, you're scanning the badge, you're collecting their business card, and you're adding them to your nurture lists. You know, it's really hard to say what the right move is here. As the trade show host, is it the trade show's responsibility to communicate to the attendees that they are going to be added to the lists of the booths? Is it the booth's job to make sure they're being clear that they're collecting your information? Or is it both? I think that everyone's going to have to figure out, how they want to handle that. But my recommendation is just to be very clear with your attendees. Who's getting the information and who's not. Next, Onsite registration, not so dissimilar from the lead capture. Just being very clear as you're capturing information at any event, be it walk-ins or sign-ups in field marketing. Are you adding them to this list? What list? And how can they unsubscribe or see their information? At the end of the day, this is a new reality and we're all learning as event marketers, and we're going to find new ways to make this more clear, easier for our attendees to engage with, and we're going to figure out just kind of how to live in this new world. But what I'd recommend as event marketers is that we come to this with good faith and kind of lead the way here. As I said at the top of the show, this is nothing new for us. We've lived in this reality for a long time. Those that opt in matter. So let's take that with us and let's, per usual, lead the way in the marketing stack. Okay, so that's GDPR in a nutshell as seen through the eyes of an event marketer. A couple quick things. We've actually written a beautiful and comprehensive book on this stuff. We're hosting a webinar that you can go check out. So if you want more information about how this applies to events, go check that out. And I will see you next week. Craving more event content? If so, subscribe below and you can check out more episodes of Run Up Show Weekly.